ships down, but the war's just begun.
For the first time in American history, a president just declared open war on the drug cartels, and he's using the United States Navy to do it. Overnight, at President Trump's direct order, naval forces struck a third Tren de Aragua vessel in the Caribbean, sending 6 narco-traffickers to the bottom of the ocean. This isn't law enforcement anymore. It's military action, kinetic strikes, precision targeting. The cartels thought international waters made them untouchable when they were dead wrong. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is announcing new strikes daily. The body count is climbing. The gloves are off. The missiles are flying. And the poison pipeline to America is being blown to pieces. And we have the video. This is war. And while President Trump's Navy is vaporizing cartel boats and saving American lives from poison, there's another battle every warrior needs to win: the fight for your own health. Have you ever wondered what happened to legendary Chuck Norris? Well, I recently saw a video that he made. I was shocked. The guy is 84 years old. He's got more fighting spirit than Navy SEALs half his age. Still kicking butt, working out, and staying combat ready. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, he can work out longer, and still has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. While we're winning the war on cartels, Chuck discovered how to win the war on aging by making one simple change, and he says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing it. She feels better. She feels younger, leaner, and has energy all day. And Chuck made a special video explaining everything, so make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/next or clicking the link in the description below. It'll change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/next. Click the link below and watch the video. You won't believe just how simple that it is. Okay, another one bites the dust. Cue the music, right? This is more unclassified video of the fireworks in the Caribbean. Overnight, at the direction of President Trump, the Department of War carried out a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel operated by Tren de Aragua, a designated terrorist organization trafficking narcotics in the Caribbean Sea. The vessel was known by our intelligence to be involved in illicit narcotic smuggling, was transited along a known narco-trafficking route, carrying narcotics. 6 male narco-terrorists were aboard the vessel during the strike, which was conducted in international waters and was the first strike at night. All 6 terrorists were killed. No U.S. forces were harmed in the strike. If you're a narco-terrorist smuggling drugs in our hemisphere, we'll treat you like we treat Al-Qaeda. Day or night, we'll map your networks, track your people, hunt you down, and kill you. That's the tweet. That's the tweet, guys. Maybe these narco-terrorists should join X and start following the Secretary of War to avoid moments like this. Here it is. You know, just one day you're just going along a drug route, smuggling cocaine, and you hear some buzz. Oh! And they're gone. And they're gone. Bye-bye to Davy Jones' locker full of cocaine. Let's see, Mark Randazza. He says we can agree there's a fair debate as to whether we'd ought to bomb these guys. Or why? Why debate? He says, but you should be beaten senseless if you're trying to convince me this is a boat full of innocent fishermen. Yeah. No, looks like a boat full of cocaine. And then we have this one. This is 48 hours ago. Another lethal kinetic strike on a known narco-trafficking group. This is great stuff. I feel like I'm watching like a 1980s like drug movie, you know? Like, remember the one with what was it, Arnold Schwarzenegger? What was it called? Commando. Where he goes and his daughter gets kidnapped and he has to go to the drug kingpin and get his daughter back. That's what it feels like. Yeah. Feels like we're back in the 80s all over again with all these strikes. And then this was 5 days ago. Narco sub blown up. 5 days ago. A narco sub. I mean, look at this thing. It's like, it's just barely above water. These guys are just like inside the hull, just hanging out, probably playing cards, minding their own business, maybe taking a bump or two, right? Keep the energy going. Oh, and they're about to hit by a lot of energy soon. Oh, wait for it, and bye-bye. Yes, this is like a trilogy. This is the the War on Terror Part 3, the trilogy. Operation Orange Vengeance. Oh, man, I don't even know where to go from here. Okay, this is 4 hours ago. Kash Patel, FBI helped the Philadelphia police in busting the Wayman Street Gang, apprehending scores of narcotics and illegal firearms. I wonder where those narcotics were coming from. Probably from those same narco-terrorists.
Destroying our community is what happens when you let good cops be cops, when you let interagency, state and local police work together to rid our cities of the harmful plague of drug trafficking organizations and gang violence. And there's an important distinction to be made. Yesterday I was in the White House with the president for the Homeland Security.
This is, again, you see this moment here. He's with the Philly PD. And we just showed you the bombing of these cartel boats. It's like he's sitting at the end of that pipeline where the drugs are filtered down to the gangbangers on the street corners. Like it is a straight shot from the narco-terrorists in Venezuela all the way to the streets of Philadelphia. This is the beginning and the end of the pipeline. And they're hitting it on both sides.
Task Force. And while that lift is being done at the international level to wipe out drug trafficking organizations and gang violence, our urban cities from Los Angeles to Philadelphia and New York and everywhere in between are being plagued by localized street gangs and gang violence and drug trafficking organizations. Once the drugs and guns come in, they need an outfit to deliver them to our communities. And we needed to attack those outfits. And the reason I wanted to come to Philadelphia today is because this takedown, brought to you by the men and women standing behind me and their wonderful teams, the Philadelphia Police Department, the FBI, and the United States Attorney's Office, are bringing to bear what law enforcement can do when you unleash them and let them go after the criminals that are destroying our communities, that are harming our civilization, and that are hurting our children. This Wayman Street Gang is not just one instance of removing a couple of people. It is an example of how you remove an entire organization that is corrupting not just the city of Philadelphia, but the state of Pennsylvania as well. And I felt it extremely important to come in here and say, not only are we removing guns and gang members and robbers and firearms, we are removing an entire coordinated section of gang violence permanently off the streets. And that's how you deliver a victory for the people of Philadelphia, the people of Pennsylvania, and the people of America. I'm so proud and humbled to be joined here today by these wonderful representatives from the police force, from the FBI, and a shout out to the Department of Justice and our United States Attorney Metcalf here. You need courageous prosecutors to bring these cases. You need people that aren't going to say no, that are going to bend the knee, that are going to say,
no more bending the knee. That's for sure. President Trump is the only American leader to take the fight directly to the drug cartels.
And originally in 2016, you started the movement to make America great again. And that means make America great again in every way. And that means safety and prosperity and peace and freedom from cartels and crime and gangs. And your vision and your leadership in declaring war on the drug cartels is the single most successful public safety initiative in American history. And I need the media to understand what President Trump has done. People have been talking about drug cartels for longer than I've been alive. And everyone has just taken for granted that they can't be touched or stopped. They're too big, they're too powerful, they're too evil, they're too murderous. They can operate with impunity. And in just 9 months, President Trump is the only American leader, not just in our lifetimes, but ever, to actually take the fight to the drug cartels, to actually seek their eradication. And it is happening. And so while the Democrats are shutting the government down and fighting for free health care for illegal aliens, look at what President Trump has assembled here. He's assembled a team under his vision, direction, and leadership that is saving hundreds of thousands of lives. Hundreds of thousands of lives. And only President Trump could have done this. Originally in 2016.
Only President Trump. I can't think of any other president who's done this. Here is President Trump 24 hours ago talking about what his task force has done.
Ultra-violent. In a matter of weeks, the task force has made the largest number of arrests of cartel leaders, operatives, and gang members in American history, more than 3,000 and counting. That includes members of the ultra-violent New Generation Cartel, the Sinaloa Cartel, the LNFM Cartel, MS-13 Cartel, and you know MS-13, the gang, and Tren de Aragua, another beauty. That's a group of real garbage we have to deal with, that we shouldn't have to deal with.
President Trump taking out the trash. They held this roundtable yesterday. President Trump declaring it was to discuss sweeping, unprecedented, and successful operations.
American soil. And we're here today to discuss a sweeping, unprecedented, and historically successful operation that my administration has carried out in recent weeks to arrest, prosecute, and permanently remove members of foreign drug cartels from American soil. And the people gathered around this table are the ones that are doing it, and in this room. Some of them sitting a little behind. In fact, some of them, I'm surprised, are not actually at the table. You people should be very insulted by that. But you've done a great job back there.
The results speak for themselves. And I'm sure this is not the last video of a drug boat we're going to see. President Trump discussing how we're finally treating the cartels.
I promised under the Trump administration, we're finally treating the cartels as the core national security threat that they really are. The cartels are waging war on America, and just as I promised in the campaign, we're waging war on them like they've never seen before. All you have to do is turn on your television and you'll see what's happening to them. Past administrations have tried to mitigate this threat.
Actually, if you turn on your TV, you won't see any of this stuff.
And our objective is to eliminate it. We're not mitigating, we're eliminating. We're getting them out. The bad ones we're putting in prison. We hate to do that because that means we're stuck with them for 50 years or more.
Yeah, just, put a target on their cartel boat. Pam Bondi, 91 tons of drugs have been seized as a result of the task force. This would be like filling 4 18-wheelers, 4 with drugs in just the last month. Secretary Noem says she's proud of the work that was done in September. The September surge, over 400 operations brought 3,200 terrorists to justice. Fentanyl cut down by 50%. Tulsi Gabbard, just last week, our National Counterterrorism Center supported through actionable intel to both U.S. and Mexican law enforcement the arrest of a Sinaloa cartel boss as well as his top 3 money launderers. Kash Patel and the drug seizures. Homeland Security Task Force, these are not numbers, these are lives. Enough fentanyl to kill over 200 million Americans, gone, evaporated off of our streets completely. So, this is not the last video report you're going to see of these boats being blown out of the water. So if you got value from this report and you want to see more, tap subscribe because it's time for my final thought. So this changes everything. No more catch and release, no more legal games, no more treating cartels like common criminals. President Trump just rewrote the rules. If you traffic death to America, the U.S. military will find you and end you, period. 3,000 cartel members arrested, 91 tons of drugs seized, enough fentanyl stopped to save 200 million American lives. 4 18-wheelers full of poison that will never reach our kids. And we're just getting started. The establishment's screaming about international law, about rules of engagement, about congressional oversight. You know what? Let them scream. While they file their lawsuits, more cartel boats are burning. While they clutch their pearls, more American lives are being saved. So here's my question. Should we expand military strikes against cartel operations into their main bases of operation? Move from sea into land? Yes or no? Drop your answer below and gear up for the fight. Our merch shop has everything you need to show where you stand. It's linked below.